In this brief clip, I'd like to continue discussing sound and then set up our next film example. As we continue with our discussion of sound, we recognize that sound is a manipulation of sounds. This can include mixing, which is to combine sounds to create a certain emotion. Rhythm of sound is important. It can influence our experience of the pacing of a film by speeding up or slowing down a particular sequence. Again, just think about sound as we compare the film clip from Yeah Right, the skate video, and compare that with Café Lumiere, the very slow Taiwan film. And we can see that the sound, in the case of skate video, very fast, moving music, and in contrast to the silence in Café Lumiere, creates a very different experience because of the rhythm of the sound. Can create disparities. I think also we can use our two film examples, Yeah Right and Café Lumiere, and realize the very disparate experience that the two have. And then also it can create a sense of space, can create a sense of location if we consider birds chirping, for example, in the woods, or the sound of water running, all of these sounds which are added later to a film to make it sound realistic in that particular way. Classification of sound is important for us. There are sounds that are in the story, and we call this diegetic sound. Perhaps if someone moves a chair, we hear that the chair move across the floor. That would be a diegetic sound. It's in the story. But there's also non-diegetic sounds. Maybe we can hear a soundtrack or musical instruments, a trumpet, something that sounds like it's off camera, outside of the story itself, and it's added to the image. Those are considered non-diegetic sounds. They're outside of the story world. There are different types of diegetic sound. We can have internal sound, which is in the mind of the character. We can have external sound, which is a physical source in the scene. As I just mentioned a moment ago, water or birds chirping give us the sensation that a story is taking place, for example, in nature. We have these type of diegetic sounds. And then also note that there's synchronous sound. Synchronous sound means that the sound is lined up with the image so that they're in harmony and unison between the sound and the movement of the images that we see. But there's also asynchronous sound, and actually asynchronous sound is one of the pleasures of watching old Hong Kong martial arts films, right? Because the voices and the actions don't align. It's asynchronous. And so sometimes it's a demonstration of poor production quality. On another hand, or in a different way of thinking about it, can be quite fun to watch it, and it can be humorous. It can be used also in interesting ways. Our next film clip is entitled Damnation, and I think we don't need to know the film title to recognize that we don't need the title, we just need to use our ears to tell what the title is. In other words, the sound is so oppressive and so dark that just by paying attention to the sound alone, we know what the title of the film is. The director of the film, his name is Béla Tarr. The last name is spelled T-A-R-R, and this film came out in 1988. Again, as you watch this clip, pay attention to the way that the sound creates a very powerful mood, and again, it's the sound that does this, not only the image, not only the movement. So let's pay attention to this clip next.